Are we live? We're live.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. Everybody's trying to stay warm. Oh gosh, okay. So we're so excited, you guys. So you can already see the singing bowls. There's going to be some awesomeness that happens here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Welcome to the Rising She Spotlight Series. This is your space for weekly Wednesday night woo-woo wisdom from guest speakers all over the world. And we have Jenn all the way out in Canada. So you guys, Jenn is a spiritual healer. She's a Reiki practitioner. She utilizes crystals and singing bowls and other various forms to do a lot of wonderful energy healing for herself, obviously, and her clients and the people that she serves. And so we brought her in to just really kind of really share this amazing sound therapy. And I know like a lot of us have kind of been, diving into singing bowls, diving into sound therapy, watching I finally started watching the Pyramid Code, where it talks about a lot of like the pyramids and how they created like sound therapy like within their pyramid structures. And so it's an old practice, and it's been known about for a while, but I don't feel like we utilize it as much as we really could. And I feel like it's time to kind of like shed some more light on it. So welcome, Jenn. We're so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for finding me and inviting me to have this hour to help promote what I believe is amazing therapy with the crystal singing bowls. So thank you.
Yay! We're so excited to have you. So I know you're going to play for us, but we're just going to ask you a couple questions. And so, sorry guys, like I have straps. I'm sucking on some Ricolas. So
doing the Reiki.
Sounds a little weird. That's why. But so we ask everybody that comes on our podcast. We ask them the same question, and so I'm going to ask you, Jenn. What do you love about being a woman?
What do I love about being a woman?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a couple of things. The challenge,
mm-hmm.
And the other thing is the many different facets of a woman and of being a woman, and how they all intertwine in a day. We have to be so much in one day, and it is a challenge, and I always love a challenge.
Yes, I love that too. We wear a lot of hats.
I was about to say we wear a ton of hats, and we're able to like shift at any moment that we need to.
Mm-hmm.
Very versatile.
I love that.
So good. Well, I have a question for you too, Jenn. So we have a lot of women that love to use sound therapy. We've got one on this call, Sara. She has a singing bowl, and she loves to come in and just like grace us with sound. And it's one of those things that I'm sure everyone can relate to this. But when you hear like a certain song or a frequency, you get. Can you guys hear me? Okay? It feels far away. How's that?
That's better.
Okay. I'm in Panera, and I'm trying to be a little incognito right now. But you guys know when you hear a song or a frequency, and it just brings you to that energy. It's kind of like that. That's where I like to go with this when it comes to any sort of that frequency or sound or being moved by a certain music. I'm like repping some Dave Matthews today. So anyways, whatever you guys feel called to when it comes to that. But Jenn, my question for you is, how is sound therapy such a critical part of healing? How does that play into the healing process?
Okay, I could go on for hours about that, but I love that you brought that up. And so I want to start with a few things. Number one, we're dealing with vibrations and frequencies, okay? And I love that you said like a certain song will take you to a certain space in your life, or a memory, anything like that. So our bodies, if you think of our bodies as a symphony orchestra, and when the whole orchestra is in tune, we're vibrant, we connect, we're a magnet, we're a light, we're amazing. But if just one or two of the instruments go out of tune and they play the wrong note, the wrong frequency, that begins to affect our body. And so if I can relate one of those instruments to a thought or a belief, so every thought that we have has a vibration. Every belief we have has a vibration, and that affects the frequency within our body. So when our thoughts are negative or our beliefs are negative, then our beautiful symphony orchestra goes out of tune. And so the frequency of the bowls, as they flow through your body and you relax, you're sending those frequencies into these areas of your body that aren't so much in tune. And so we begin to let go of what's no longer needed in our body or what we're holding on to. Because the frequencies help to raise the vibration back within our body. So we're coming back more into harmony with our natural essence. So that is how sound frequency and sound therapy works, simply by changing the vibration and the frequency within our body.
No, I love that. It really brings it back home to, like what Seana said, of hearing a song, it can shift your mood almost immediately, but to be able to like go in, and I've had a really significant sound therapy session done by a friend of mine out here, and she actually placed the singing bowls like all down throughout my body, and the bed would actually vibrate, and it was just like this major vibration and just a healing, process, and it was so profound and it was so good. Like I could have laid there for hours and just been in like this like euphoric piece of like just a harmony and goodness, and it's so incredible and so powerful. So I'm dying for you to play them, but I want to get through a few more questions.
Yeah, for sure.
For just a minute. I was reading through a little bit of your bio on your website, and you talked about how you really had to go into some dark places for the healing to occur. And I know that's really hard for some of us to do because we want to live in our land of, butterflies and unicorns and just look at the happy stuff. But if you don't bring up that painful stuff and you don't dig a little bit deeper, then it can't heal and you can't really, ascend as much as your spirit is wanting you to. And so I guess our biggest question is, what does that look like for you going into those darker places? How do you get yourself into a place where you feel good about going there, knowing that healing is going to happen on either side rather than being fearful to go there?
Okay. I don't, I can't say that I'm really happy about going there. I'm open to it, but I am just as fearful. I am just as uncomfortable as anyone else going into those dark places. And, there's finger marks on the wall from me trying to not go there. There really is. And sometimes life just offers you those opportunities to go into those dark places. And sometimes you're there because there's no other place for you to go. But in being there and sitting in that uncomfortable dark space, you do really come into a new realization of who you are. So that darkness doesn't have to be there, and it doesn't have to create karma or chaos in your life, and it doesn't have to control your day. So even taking an uncomfortable emotion, for example, and all of us try to push those away. All of us try to avoid feeling those uncomfortable feelings. But if you sit back and notice, that uncomfortable emotion is taking charge of everything that's happening in your life or in your day, even if you take it minute by minute. But as soon as you go into that comfortable space and invite it, because it's a part of who you are, invite it and accept it and give it that 5 minutes of limelight that that's really all it wants is your attention, can make a 5-minute shift in your whole day. It can just change everything from that point forward, going forward in your day. So it's not a comfortable place to be. It's an uncomfortable place to be. But in that uncomfortable place, you invite yourself to meet a new version of who you are.
I resonating with that really, really deeply today. I was just speaking to one of my friends about that, about when the uncomfortable feelings start to stir and you're starting to feel it. And like you said, your tendency is to ignore. So it's going to knock a little bit louder and louder until you give it attention. But if you just notice it, or even just verbalize it, like my heart is beating fast, I feel like there's a frog in my throat, I feel like there's a pit in my stomach, just like giving it that attention that it's craving. Say, I see you, I see what's going on there. And then you're right, that's all it wants. It just wants to be noticed, and then you can move through it faster. So I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Absolutely. And when you're going down a road that you tend to be struggling on, and it's treachery, and it's just a difficult path. If you stop and look at, what baggage am I carrying down this path with me that's making my journey so difficult? Yeah. And when you look at that and you're able to sit in it and say, I don't need this anymore, and I can let go of what's heavy, but I can also do it without guilt.
Yeah.
Because we carry so much guilt, which is one thing I don't like, especially about women, who is that we carry a lot of guilt. And so when we can let go, and then let go of the guilt of letting go, we're healing exponentially. And our journey becomes so much easier. I have had a lot of dark places in my life, abusive relationships and so on and so forth. And I was carrying all that into relationships, and I had to stop on my path, and I had to heal that inside of me.
I love that. I really do. I mean, I think we can all resonate with that on this call, kind of where our journeys have gone and all the things that we've gone through to get to where we are today. So that's really powerful that you talked about that. So we also talk a lot about like the masculine and feminine energies as well, and how we kind of try to balance that within our business. But how do you balance that like within your life? And how did you find sound healing? Like, I'm like totally intrigued to kind of hear your story of how you got into this, because I think it's so beautiful.
Okay. All right. So balancing the male-female in my life is difficult. I grew up a tomboy, and so bringing out the feminine in me is difficult. I have to work at that. I have to, tell myself to be more feminine. When the weather permits, I'm out riding my motorcycle. So there's I have to work at that. And what brought me to sound vibration healing, I completely by accident, if there is such a thing as an accident. I went to Texas for a course on crystal healing, and the gentleman that taught me actually incorporated a sound vibration healing session at the end of the week, specifically for me. And it was the most profound, deep healing that I'd ever experienced. And I told myself, I have to get these bowls. I do have a set of 7. I've only gotten 4 out, but I do have a set of 7, 1 for each chakra. And but yes, it was so deep. It took me into past lives. It took me way beyond anything I'd ever experienced before. And I walked away feeling like I was walking on a cloud. I was just totally blown away. It took me 3 years after that to save up the money to purchase the bowls, and I love them. I just love it. And the thing I love about it for my clients is that it's easy. They don't have to do anything. I can guide them into a journey through their chakra system, and all they have to do is lay there, and the vibrations do the work. And sure, afterwards, there, you know, things come up for people to work on, but it's easy and it's relaxing, and that's what I love about it.
I feel like I can read both Rosemary and Sarah's minds right now. The universe is always surprising us. And Jenn, we have to tell you that we have a course called Divine She School where we take women through the journey of their chakras. And what you were just saying with like the healing and what you're doing and us connected at this time right now is just, I'm getting chills talking about it because it's so radically cool. Hopefully you guys can hear me. They're like playing Johnny Cash up on above me, and it's pretty cool right now. So I know we went through this really quickly, but this is great because we want to turn it over to you to be the master right now. And there's a lot of women that are tuning in that I'm sure are like, let her play. So Jenn, we're going to cap it off with this one last question, and we love to ask this of anyone that comes on our podcast is, you know, as we're coming into 2018, what is your next right move?
Okay, all right. Well, this whole podcast really fits into what my next right move is, and that is I'm working at pulling more of my business to online. I'm pulling more of, you know, wanting to work with people with distance healing, and being able to work with someone that's not physically right in front of me. So that's my next best move. And as far as personally, my next best move is to continue to focus on showing up as the highest version of myself that I can. So reminding myself through the day, if I'm having those low vibration thoughts or beliefs, reminding myself that, you know, is this really raising my vibration, or is this really showing up as the highest version of myself?
Like I'm almost in tears.
I know. I love that. It's so beautiful.
Oh, well, we want to hear you play, and we have some time, so feel free to go at it for as long as you're willing to. And I think, you know, us and everyone tuning in, we're just going to kind of soak it in and let you do your thing.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm just going to shift around, so I guess you don't have to see me to be able to hear me. I'm just going to shift a few things. So just a little bit of an introduction. The bowls are made out of clear quartz crystal, and the four that I'm going to play are attuned to your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, and your heart chakra. And to me, the deepest healing in most sessions happens in these four chakras. And so that's why I chose these, is because we want a good foundation. We want to start creating the life that we want, and we want to start showing up as our true authentic self, and we want to be coming from the heart at all times. So those are the ones that I have chosen. And so everybody just relax. Close your eyes if you want. Get in a comfortable position and just allow the sounds to flow. So taking in a few long, slow, deep breaths just to kind of let go of our day. Allow your body to relax and settle in. your attention down into your root chakra at the tip of your tailbone. Breathe and relax into this space. Your roots in the universe. Your connection with the physical world. Really be in this space and notice what you sense. Notice what feels heavy, uncomfortable. Are you willing to let go? The more you release, the more space you create. Release old family beliefs, any fears, doubts, or worries that no longer serve you. Create a solid foundation that's no longer rooted in fear, and know that you are safe, grounded, and protected. Gently shift your attention up into your sacral chakra. Just a few inches below your belly button. Take a breath and settle into this space. Become very present and aware of what you sense. This is where we hold all those emotions. Be willing to sit in that uncomfortable space. Listen to the energy. As the heavy energy shifts, we open up to a more creative, more joyful, happy space. The energy is lighter. It's more vibrant. We tune into that divine feminine goddess within us, where we begin to create the life we desire through our vibrant emotions. Tune into your sexuality. Send that beautiful energy out into the universe. Where it responds. The universe always responds exactly and affirms you are the creative goddess. And gently shift your attention up into your solar plexus, just below your rib cage, at the center of your stomach area. This is your truth. Your center of self. See yourself in your true light. Clearly visualize everything that holds you back. The excuses, the restrictions, and the distractions. Are you willing to let them go in order to live your truth? Can you forgive others and yourself for mistakes in the past? In order to shine, how brightly can you shine? Become comfortable in that light that is your truth. Own that power that is you. Trust in who you are. And affirm to yourself, I am worth the effort. I choose to show up as my truth. And shifting your attention up into the center of your chest area, into your heart chakra. Relax into this beautiful space. Connect with this beautiful energy of love and compassion. This is your natural essence. Allow this energy to expand and notice what you sense. Let go of the hurts and the pains from the past. All love begins with self. Self-love takes time, takes work, and takes effort. Are you willing to make the tough decisions that result in honoring yourself? Are you willing to let go of people, places, and situations that drown you, that don't support you, and that drain you? How do you replenish your self-love? What self-care habits do you have? And how often do you do them? When we practice self-love and self-care, no matter what is happening in the world around us, we can always come from a place of love. Connect with this energy every day. Listen to your heart and follow that guidance. Affirm to yourself, I am more than enough. I deserve love. I love me. Notice how your body's feeling. Take note of what came up for you. You can always be in this space. When you slow life down and listen to your body. Take in a long, slow, deep breath and let go of anything that no longer serves you. Oftentimes after a session, it takes a while for clients to integrate how they feel. And oftentimes you just want to cuddle in that energy, and it's like a blanket around you. You just want to cuddle in it and stay in there. But the vibrations stay throughout the evening, and it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like super light right now, just like tingly and good. There's like a lot of chaos going on upstairs between husband, kids, construction work, and it's like, didn't even faze me. Just in my own little happy land over here. I think that was so beautiful, and I resonated with so much that you brought up and brought forward. It was very, very good.
Good, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, Jenn.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of gals on our chat that were coming in that I think are going to come back tonight. So carve out that sacred time this evening, ladies that are tuned in live right now, to rewatch and go back, because that was phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the energy is still just like moving up and down. It feels so good. I hope it sticks around.
Yeah. Yes. It will, and just take note of what over the next couple of days, what comes up. I mean, that was a really short session, but anything is, you know, when you start shifting energy like that, when you're feeling the shifting of energy, you're removing blocks, you're removing things that you've been carrying, energy that you've been carrying for who knows how long, and you know, opportunities start to open up when we remove that energy. So pay attention to what comes.
Yes. Well,
for sure.
thank you for creating this beautiful space. You've created such a healing environment for all of us right now, and it's so wonderful, and it's very appreciated. And we want to make sure that all the women that are on here now and that come to tune in later, that they can get in touch with you, especially as you're moving into like more of an online space. That's pretty much all we do, except for our in-person retreats, is support and do our courses and our guidance and everything online. And so it's going to be really great to like bring you into our little space and let the women, you know, tap back into you. So where can they reach you? What's the best place for them to get in touch with you or message you or all that good stuff?
Okay, best way to get a hold of me is usually through Facebook. My business page is Spiritual Sparkles Healing Center, and my website is Jenn Prothero. That's JENNPROTHERO.webs.com. And yeah, you can get a hold of me either way, or my personal Facebook page is Jenn Prothero. I would love to connect with anyone here. You know, feedback of how they enjoyed the session, or even if they have any questions. Maybe something came up and they don't understand it. I love to just help someone understand an experience that they had. So if anyone has any of that, please feel free to message me.
Awesome. And so right now do you just do like in-person stuff, or are you starting to expand to do more of the distance work as well?
I am expanding to do the distance work. I do a lot of work out of different yoga studios with groups, but I really want to move on to the online working with distance healing. As you like, this is probably one of the first, the second experience that I've done online work with the singing bowls, and obviously you heard the frequency and the vibrations through distance. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just as powerful. I still received the energy the same way that I have in any kind of in-person session that I've gone through. And I think what's like super important, you know, and you know this, of course, it's like the intention that you put out there when you're doing the healing session. And so if we're open on this side and you're putting that intention on your side, then I think even if there's thousands of miles, which there is, like for you to be able to send this healing energy into all of us through thousands of miles, it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. So thank you for coming in and doing this.
You're welcome, and thank you very much.
Yeah, and we'll post all your stuff too. We have a lot of your links and your websites. We'll post it underneath this, and if we missed anything, which I'm sure we won't, then feel free to come in. And a lot of times our girls will come in and watch it, and they'll start, you know, doing questions in the feed, like the Facebook feed that goes underneath this post. So that might be where you see it versus like personal messaging too.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again so much, Stephanie, for coming in and joining us. That was absolutely amazing. So I totally loved it. And but make sure everybody else, be sure to tune in every Wednesday night for your weekly woo-woo wisdom, and we will see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.